More local news: a shot in the arm for the city and county's ever-increasing need for behavioral health services. A new partnership between Dallas-based Oceans Healthcare and Christus Spohn. As Rudy Trevino reports, the partnership will give behavioral health patients access to enhanced services in a hospital setting.
Caring for those afflicted with mental health disorders continues to be a national crisis.
Dr. Osbert Blow, President and Chief Medical Officer of Christus Spohn Health Systems, announced the new partnership with Dallas-based Oceans Healthcare, calling the need extreme.
With limited medical services and providers, access to behavioral health medicine is a community priority and a community problem.
We were founded on the core belief that behavioral health patients deserve and should get dignified care.
Oceans Healthcare specialties include inpatient and intensive outpatient programs treating everything from depression, anxiety, behavioral disturbances associated with Alzheimer's disease and dementia, and all ages can be treated. The partnership and new addition of services was welcomed by some of the folks on the front lines.
And I look forward to working with Christus, Oceans, the hospital district, and our commissioner's court to, quite frankly, pave the way for our health region, for South Texas, and for being an example in general for what it means to care about one another.
The current Christus Spohn Behavioral Facility is located at the Old Memorial Hospital and provides inpatient services to about 33 people, but treats hundreds of outpatients. While no plans for expansion were announced today, there are discussions between all the entities to address the overall need for behavioral health services.
The people that come through the doors, we expect that whether they come in through the Nueces County Aid Program or whether they come in as indigent or whether they have insurance, that no matter how they come in, they're going to get the exceptional care and treatment that they deserve.
The partnership becomes effective August 15th. Rudy Trevino, 3 News.